A temporary solution to the red tide problem will take you to Siesta Key, where crews worked all day long to clean up tons of dead fish.
Plus, what lawmakers are saying they're going to do to fix that red tide problem.
And how you can help wildlife you see suffering from red tide effects. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Right now, crews are finishing up a full day spent cleaning up dead fish on Siesta Beach, fish presumably killed by red tide. Sarasota County tells us crews picking up 16 tons of fish alone today from Siesta Beach, and it will be back at it tomorrow. We'll check in with ABC 7's Rick Adams here in a few minutes, who's on Siesta Beach this evening, and we'll check back in with him in just a little while. Well, tonight, Congressman Vern Buchanan is calling on state and federal officials to do more in the effort to combat red tide. He sat down with us to discuss what can be done at a legislative level. Buchanan says he has met with numerous experts, including Mote Marine, who have all told him different opinions on why this red tide is so strong. Buchanan says after seeing its effects firsthand, he will be directing NOAA to allocate a good chunk of the $8 million federal dollars they just received to Mote Marine Laboratory for new research.
I think the state's got a huge role to play as well. They've got almost a $90 billion budget. We're going to have to take more resources and try to minimize this.
Buchanan says after the recess, he plans to lead a new effort, doing everything that he can to convince Washington that mitigating this red tide is well worth the federal dollars that Mote needs. Coming up tonight at 11, we'll hear more from Buchanan and his proposed solutions. Plus, we'll hear from a scientist that says this red tide outbreak is actually not unusual.
We are constantly updating information about the red tide conditions on our website, mysuncoast.com. We have an article there that's titled Everything You Need to Know About Red Tide. It has links to Florida Fish and Wildlife's bi-weekly red tide update, NOAA's daily report, and Mote Marine Lab's current beach conditions report, which can help you narrow down the effect of the red tide by beach. Now, it shows how much red tide is in the water, if people are experiencing any respiratory irritation, and if dead fish are washing up on those beaches.
Well, let's check in now with Steve Newman, who is in for Bob Harrigan this week, with a look at our first alert forecast at the 6 o'clock hour. Steve.
Hey, Jacqueline, I don't see any changes in the weather that are going to help the red tide situation in the foreseeable future. We do have a small change, and the winds are beginning to blow more from a southeasterly direction instead of from the south, and that's going to return us to a more typical weather pattern where we have afternoon, evening thunderstorms, which we come to expect during July and August. It's very heavy rain up in the Panhandle. In fact, around Gainesville, we've got a special weather statement from the Jacksonville Weather Office of some strong storms with hail up there. We had a fairly vigorous storm go up I-75 earlier today. This afternoon brought down some pretty heavy rain, a lot of lightning, but it's washed out. And we took a look at the future radar. Through the evening hours, the chance of storms increases. I'm getting out of the way here so you can see about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. We do have a burst of moisture, a good chance of rain coming up. We'll see if that actually materialized, but this computer model did very well yesterday with the storms we got last night about 8 or 9 o'clock. Temperatures will cool off into the 70s, but it's going to be a slow cooling unless we get those storms, which might advance that cooling. Look at that about 10, 11, 12 o'clock. That's when the greatest chance of thunderstorms erupting will be this evening, and it'll turn drier overnight. Our complete weather and a look at the western wildfires in just a few minutes.
All right, Steve, thank you. While cleanup efforts are underway to remove dead fish from beaches here around the Suncoast, local anglers and business owners are doing the best that they can during this recent red tide strain.
ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo joins us live from Sarasota with some of the challenges they're facing right now. Dwayne?
Well, Scott, Jacqueline, one of the main things some of the folks we spoke with wanted to get out in the open was the misconception that red tide is everywhere, saying specifically when you see red tide today or where you see it, it may be gone or dissipate by tomorrow.
Yeah, these are our rentals over here, which are sitting here. They're not going out these days.
For owner of Nokomis Beach Bait and Tackle, Brian Fraser, the going has been pretty rough.
This week alone, I can tell you that I'm down about 50%, maybe even more.
Many of his out-of-town customers leaving the area as soon as they can. He says part of the problem is the smell, which has dissipated over the last few days. But the main issue is the misconception that red tide is everywhere, scaring everyone away.
It's been in this spot, It's been in that spot, it's been here, but it just doesn't stay here all the time.
And according to Charter Captain Johnny Walker, he's right. In his 40 years on Suncoast waters, he says he's seen areas of red tide dissipate within days.
This red tide that we're having now seems to be right along the edge of the coast. You go out in the Gulf a few miles and it isn't really out there.
He also mentions just because you see dead fish in one spot doesn't necessarily mean there's red tide there.
It means that those fish may have blown in from somewhere else.
As for Frazier, he says he's just trying to educate his customers.
If they go fishing, they can keep those fish and they can eat those fish. It's not going to affect anything. It's not a toxin, it's not a disease.
Now, Walker says at this point, the worst red tide on this coast may be on the waters of Charlotte and Lee counties. Reporting live in Sarasota, Dwayne Lindo, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Dwayne. Well, a machine with a sand rake doing a lot of work on Siesta Beach today. On Siesta Beach alone, they have cleaned up more than 16 tons of dead fish, with much more to come. The dead fish are then placed in a dump truck, which is taken to a landfill in Nokomis.
There's a lot to clean up. There are, as we speak right now, we've removed 3 5-yard truckfuls of fish, dead fish.
Beach officials will continue to monitor the beaches. This work is expected to be going on for at least the next day or so. Well, the algae blooms are poisoning a variety of our marine life, as we've seen, causing them to suffer and die before they wash ashore. But there might be a way for all of us to help save some of them. Now, we spoke to scientists from the Mote Marine Laboratory today to find out how. They said the first thing that you should do is either call Mote Marine or Florida Fish and Wildlife to report a sick animal. The quicker they find out, the faster that they can get someone out to help save them. Plus, provide them with this information.
Any kind of documentation people can provide us when they're on scene really helps us make decisions about how many people we need to bring, what equipment we need to bring. So any kind of sort of photo documentation, video documentation is really key to help us.
They say it's also really important to report any sick or dead marine life, because if the toxins stay in the water or in the air, that algae bloom will keep spreading.
If you want to report a fish kill, you can submit a report or call the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. The toll-free hotline offers information about how and where to report fish kills. FWC scientists study disease and mortality in wild fish populations, and these reports help scientists respond to these disease events. Your news feed may be filled with more videos and photos of people interacting with sharks, but some are wondering why people risk safety to get that cool shot. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 7, Alan Cohn will dive into that question. Mote Marine Lab officials say this desire to interact with sharks is not only dangerous for the people trying to capture the photos, but also for the sharks. One media expert says most people don't know the harm a photo can cause.
People don't understand that there is a line that should be drawn between appreciating, for example, wildlife as opposed to intruding upon it. And I think it's that dichotomy that one needs to understand, that there's a social responsibility with your camera.
Hear more about why experts say this desire for likes could be dangerous. That story coming up at 7. Still to come on your Suncoast News, local investigators say an investigation took them to a stolen equipment. We'll show you what else they were not expecting to find at a man's home.
We just miss him physically, emotionally, financially.
Plus, a follow-up on a double murder case on Longboat Key, how the family is now seeking damages a year later.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
Make us fly! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
My California classes experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Well, it's been 1 year since 2 men were murdered at the Zota Beach Resort on Longboat Key.
Today, the family of one of those victims announced they are suing the resort and security company it contracted with, claiming their loved one's death was preventable. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick has a story from Orlando.
The families of both victims sat inside the law offices here today and said they're still dealing with the loss of their loved ones. So one of those families has decided to do something about it and says they're holding the resort and the security company responsible.
I mean, there's no moving past this.
Timothy Hurley was the nightside manager at Zota Beach Resort when he was shot and killed. Police say by a Victory Security Agency employee that also worked at the resort. Daryl Hanna Jr.
We just miss him physically, emotionally, financially.
Now Hurley's family, including his niece Christine Greer, who he raised, is suing both Zota Beach Resort and Victory Security Agency for $15,000, claiming the two entities were negligent in hiring Hanna because he had a lengthy criminal record. The family is also claiming Zota didn't provide Hurley with a safe working environment.
We believe it could have been prevented, and that just makes it even worse because Tim could have been here. He could have watched Alex, his nephew, graduate high school, or he could have walked me down the aisle, and he can't because it wasn't prevented.
Meanwhile, Tim Swigert sat there and listened. Swigert lost his partner, Kevin Carter, the same day the Hurley family lost Tim. Carter was a security guard at the resort, an employee of Victory Security.
He tried to save Hurley. He tried to save the Zota. He tried to save the guests. He lost his life doing it.
Swigert wants to make sure that Carter isn't blamed in any way for what happened and looped in with Victory Security.
The lawsuit itself is not going in that direction.
But Swigert says Victory Security could try to place blame on Carter, and that's his fear.
I am extremely upset that they are only representing the Hurley family. It's like everybody has forgotten that somebody else died that night.
Swigert says he's now considering filing a lawsuit of his own. Reporting in Orlando, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Jess, thank you. New at 6, a search warrant for stolen property may have led Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies to an at-home meth lab. John Goodman is facing several charges after deputies found 2 stolen golf carts and trailers. Detectives worked with Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies and say they found more stolen property, plus chemicals and supplies that are typically used to make meth. Goodman faces burglary and grand theft charges for now.
An emergency road repair is now underway because of a water main break in the city of Bradenton. Crews are working on about 2 blocks of road of Manatee Avenue West from 8th Street to 10th Street West. Now, we sent out a crew there to check out the problem firsthand. As you can see, there is a huge hole on 10th Street that's causing that road closure. The outside lane of that road and the right lane will be closed for 2 weeks. For a detour map, you can head over to our website at mysuncoast.com.
Efforts are underway tonight on Lido Beach to protect the shoreline from erosion. The City of Sarasota posting this video today on Twitter of sand being collected and put into bags. Public Works crews will be installing those sandbags at the pavilion there on Lido, the pool, and at the dunes in the coming days. The bags are expected to help with future erosion and flooding during any potential stormy weather. Lido has been under a local state of emergency since late May because of the severe erosion there on the beach. And now there's potentially some dead fish washing up.
So
one
just
problem
the
after
beaches
another.
are just not a good place to be right now.
No. Manatee up in Manatee County, not so bad. Longboat Key,
that's right.
up in, as we move into Manatee northward, so it's not so bad. The weather is not going to be changing to cause any improvement in those conditions in the next week or so. We do look out on our Casey Key webcam. Not much going on there, although there is a red tide problem going along the coast there. Currently at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, 87 degrees, a dew point 76. The winds are southwesterly at 10 miles per hour. And it's those winds that are changing our weather pattern to more typical for this time of year. 91, the high today, last night's low 76. That's pretty close to seasonal normal. It's been as warm as 96 back in 2014 and as cool as 64 in 1976. Now, how hot does it feel like? Boy, it felt really hot this afternoon. We had a 103-degree reading in Sarasota earlier today. Right now it feels like 93 at Tampa, 99 at Fort Myers. It still feels like over 100 degrees in some parts. In Punta Gorda right now, still 104. And that's going to be a pattern we'll see through the weekend. Now, if you were very observant, you noticed the wind flow for the last few days has been from the south, bringing in a lot of moisture, making it muggy, a lot more clouds. But look, you can see by the clouds, they're moving in from the southeasterly direction. That's what we'd expect this time of year. It builds up afternoon thunderstorms. And we had a fairly good one in northern Sarasota and Manatee County along I-75 that's kind of washed out along Tampa Bay in the last couple of hours. And look at the radar way out there. You can see they're moving to the northwest rather than due north in our direction. So that's the change. It's a result of the high pressure, the Bermuda High and the ridge that extends over Florida has shifted a little bit, changing the wind flow. Very humid along the Atlantic coast, behind the stationary front, drier and not that all hot weather across the heartland, although Dallas it's 94. Houston's 95, Albuquerque 91, but the heat is really out west, and that's where we have the extreme fire danger. You can see the plumes of smoke in this GOES 16 satellite image from the 2 major fires, the Mendocino Complex fire and the northern part of the wine country. That's in Lake County. A lot of wine has grown up there. And just this afternoon, more evacuations for Lakeport, Upper Lake, and they've reduced the warnings to evacuation warnings around Ukiah, but the Carr fire around Redding, that is just where all those homes have been destroyed. There are 12,000 firefighters fighting that, and they've added 3,000 prisoners to help fight that, and you would hope the conditions are going to get better, but it does not look like that in the long term. These are the temperature forecasts as we look over the weekend. 102 at Redding, where that fire has been going on. A little bit cooler on Saturday and Sunday, 98 on Saturday, Sunday, but then look what happens as we move into next week. Bump back up to 107 for the high on Redding on Sunday, on next Tuesday. We don't have anything like that. If we're fortunate if we have some cooling thunderstorms in your area by comparison to what they're suffering out west. We will welcome these thunderstorms because it keeps our fire danger non-existent. It also cools things off during the afternoon, and that's what we'll see day to day. Here's my forecast for tonight. We'll have a chance of thunderstorms increasing later this evening. Low temperature 75. The average is 75 for this time of year. And tomorrow it'll start off dry in the morning, but then with the sea breeze kicking in and that thunderstorm engine developing a high of 91, it's still going to be hot with a heat index to 101 degrees. Any changes in our weather pattern? Not so much as we move into the weekend, the early part of next week. Maybe Tuesday we might have a sunny and drier day, but with each side of it pretty typical for this time of year. That's your weather.
All right, Steve, thank you. Florida's annual back-to-school sales tax holiday starts tomorrow and runs through Sunday. That means no sales tax on clothes and shoes or other items like that up to $60 an item, and then certain school supplies up to $15. We've got the complete list of supplies that are included in this year's tax holiday online at mysuncoast.com, although this year does not include electronics.
Now, when doing your back-to-school shopping, knowing which credit cards and their features to use and which ones to avoid can help save you some serious cash. According to Card Rates, here's a few do's and don'ts to help you get the biggest bang for your buck. Do your homework. Use the best credit card for each purchase to maximize your rewards based on what fits your lifestyle. Also, take advantage of your credit card's purchase benefits. That includes perks like price protection, extended warranties, and purchase protection that help cover stolen or damaged goods. And remember, do not charge more than you can pay off before your due date. Carrying a balance past the due date will result in interest fees being charged, which will undo those back-to-school savings. And do not open a store credit card just for the initial discount or offer. Deferred payment means paying full interest on the whole amount if any of it remains when the deal expires. And do not forget to check your credit card issuer's shopping portal for some discounts. Many credit card issuers offer a range of coupons that can be applied to your credit card and can be used in-store or online.
Stay with us.
We'll have a final look at your weather forecast when we come back.
Tonight, after tweeting that the Attorney General should stop the Russia probe, could President Trump now be asked to answer possible obstruction of justice questions from the special counsel? World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now,
800-604-0398.
or visit SoClean.com today.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Introducing the ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker. This all-new mobile weather lab is just one more way. The team you trust is keeping you ahead of the storms. The ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker, sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
As smart as our pets might be, they can't advocate for themselves. That's why it's important you make your pet part of your family's disaster preparedness plan. Talk to your veterinarian and visit banfieldfoundation.org/disaster. Don't save it for a rainy day.
We have breaking news tonight out of Hillsborough County. A 4-year-old girl is dead after law enforcement say a woman threw her into the Hillsborough River. Police believe that woman is the girl's mother. We'll have much more on this story coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a good night.
I think about my own family and I think about my own kids' dream, and I see this kid's dream.
There's something about dance that just is universal and just speaks to everybody.
Every day some student makes a breakthrough, discovers something.
Teaching is about giving. It's a different kind of giving. When I teach, I know it's a gift that I'm giving.
My California classes experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closet's story.
Addiction is a dark place, but just as each new day breaks, there's light. A light that illuminates the people by your side. Out of the darkness, you are walking with 22 million others struggling with addiction. The cure to darkness is light. The cure to stigma is love. And the cure to disease is treatment. Join us as we walk into the dawn of a new day. Together, we are stronger than addiction. Learn more at chatterproof.org.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7.
Social media is actually contributed in a kind of a negative way to the lack of survival of sharks that are being caught on the beaches.
We've all seen video on social media of sharks coming up to boats or the shoreline, or people putting themselves in danger to get close-up pictures of sharks. I'm Alan Cohn. The water is warm at the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Without the letters A, B, and O, there's no mom. No dad. There's no Brittany. Because A's, B's, and O's determine your blood type. And we're missing all of them. That's why the American Red Cross needs people like you to help fill the gaps. Schedule your donation at redcrossblood.org.
life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.